Quickly want to show you how to use the template for Stellenbosch. If you search for Stellenbosch in Overleaf templates, that's overleaf.com/templates, you will see the template here. And what we're going to do is to open as a template. So this will make a project in your folder with which you can work. Now this may seem daunting if you only just started with your masters. And what you will find is this whole thing is a blank template that you can use as is. So if you scroll down, you'll see there's not much content here, but you can go and edit that, and the place that you edit it is in this, which is the editing window. And the part that may be confusing or take some time getting used to is just the file structure. So if you look at the structure, there's appendices are in a folder here. You've got chapters which you can add to. So I'll show you in a second how to add a chapter, but at the moment you've got conclusion, you've got introduction and literature. And let me quickly show you, if I go into this middle one here and I just click go to the right, you can also just double click it, then it jumps to that point in the thesis. If you double click on this side, it jumps to the left. So let's just go to introduction. If I double click your introduction, it opens, oops, that's a bad one, there we go. It opens the introduction text box here. So those files there each make up their own chapter, and you can add a chapter by just saying new file, my new chapter. There we go. And now you'll see a file called my new chapter here. Now before it becomes a chapter, you need to define it as a chapter. You need to give it a reference. Strictly not necessary to give it a reference, but you need to define it as a chapter. So my brand new chapter, and my brand new chapter. Okay, and then you just give it a reference, my new chapter. So this is the handle that we'll use to refer to the chapter if you want to refer to that chapter from elsewhere in the thesis. Now, even if I compile now, it won't pop up. I first have to tell LaTeX to include this chapter in the compilation. So if you go, just going to close this for a second. If you go down all the way to the bottom, this thesis.txt or tech, that is the main file. That is where everything happens. So this is the actual source file. That's like the main file. And if you scroll down into it, you'll see there's something here called contents. And in here, you'll see it includes the literature chapter, it includes the conclusion chapter. So what we'll do now is just after literature, I'm just going to copy it here, we're going to include chapters, and you can see it pops up my new chapter. By the way, this ACK reset all is just to reset the acronyms, which I'll show you in a minute as well. So in this ACK reset all, at least in this this my new chapter, if I go down now, my brand new chapter exists here, and I can now refer to that chapter using the handle that I've created in that file. Okay, so this is how you add stuff. If you want to change the referencing structure, I would not really recommend you do that, but you can. You have to do it by changing the bibliography style. But this is the template for Stellenbosch University, so preferably don't mess with it. The bibliography is saved in a file called mybib. So if you scroll to the left here, you'll see there's a file called mybib, and this is where you copy stuff into. This is like a coded version of your bibliography. If you use Mendeley or something along those lines, then it does it automatically for you. You can also go to Google Scholar. And in Google Scholar, let's just open this file here. That's a bad example. Let's just search for a file quickly. Writing a thesis. If you go here and you click on Cite, you can export it into a BibTeX format. So this downloads a file, as you hopefully can see here. And this you can just copy. So any file you can find on Google Scholar, you can go and paste inside this bib file, and the way to cite it is to use that handle. So just go into chapter 1, and you'll see I've used one example here to just show you how to cite. So you just use cite, and then you put the name in there. That name there is the thing that appears in my bib Sun LaTeX template. So if you go here, there's something called Sun LaTeX template, and then it has different fields which pop up in the references section. Let's just have another look. All the figures I've put into one folder. You can put whatever you want, you can put wherever you want, as long as when you include those figures, as I've done here, you'll see I've included a figure and I've pointed to in the figures folder, and the file is called Faculty of Engineering, Stellenbosch University. But I've seen people put separate figure folders for each chapter. I just put all the figures in one chapter. Front matter is maybe the most confusing bit. So front matter contains the abstract, it contains the acknowledgement, the declaration, the dedication if you feel compelled to include it, definition of acronyms, and this is that AC reset all that I called earlier. You can define your acronyms like this, and then when you use an acronym, let's just go to introduction quickly. When you use an acronym, you'll see I've put it here. You just use AC. If it's uppercase, it'll give it an uppercase for the first letter. If it's all lowercase, you just use lowercase AC, and then instead of saying MFT, it then actually expands it if it is the first time you use it. So it's kind of a nice way to automatically use it for the first time, and then automatically generate the list of acronyms and definitions. Right, so this is how you define an acronym. Then you've got definitions. You can see you've got nomenclature, which is the stuff that you want to list in the nomenclature section. Let me just go and show you. This is the nomenclature section. So obviously at the moment I just have one constant, one function, and one variable, and eventually you'll have quite a few of those. Let's just have a look if I can see any of these variables and functions. I'm assuming they're defined here. Yeah, here we go. So this is pulled into the nomenclature section. So this file is called variables and functions. So probably in nomenclature we are importing, there we go, we're inputting front matter, variables and functions. So it's kind of a codey, software programmy, modular way of doing it. You could have just put everything inside here, but the person who set this up decided to make it nice and modular. And then the title page. And in the title page, you don't have to do much. This just says generate me a title page. And you'll see there are figures here as well in front matter, and this is where you have the US crest. So that's just the university emblem and the university top logo. But these are outdated. I don't think they're even used. So you can delete them if you want. The other thing that I think is important to note is just how do you define what you're working on. I think if memory serves, over here you can just change that to a master's thesis if you want to do a master's thesis, and the document type is a Stellenbosch University thesis. The rest of the things you shouldn't really want to mess with. You can add extra packages wherever you want. Typically I add them here. I think the person who helped me set up this put the packages in a separate file if memory serves. Can't quickly see where it would have been. Let's just have a look, see if I can find it. Oh, here we go, imports. So they've put all the packages, use package and everything, into the import tech file, which you could have put everything inside thesis, but then it kind of gets messy inside thesis.tech. So somewhere here she would have done, there we go, include imports. So this then pulls in everything that you defined here. So you can define all, oh, there we go. You can define all the packages that you want to include here, and she's gone ahead and nicely separated them into types of use package so that you have good things to work with. Just one extra thing very quickly, and this is editing. So if you and your collaborator or you and your supervisor want to work together, there's a few commands here defined, reviewer, candidate, reviewer to do, and candidate to do, that you can use to make notes for one another if you wanted to. As a final point, maybe you can turn on track changes I clicked on review here, and then you can select who you want track changes to be on for, either only the candidate or just the supervisor or both, or whomever is working with you. And then the other thing that you can do that people usually complain about tech you can actually add comments. You weren't used to, you couldn't do that a long time ago, but at the moment you can. So if you want to make a comment, just add comment, and you would say this needs to change. Comment. There we go. And that should do it. Good luck with writing your thesis.